All right, hockey fans. So,
One,
good morning. And speaking of morning, so I'm. You watched the Calgary Edmonton game. Now I saw the highlights. So, but we're still good. So there's two things here. Number one, well, actually there's three. Number one, Edmonton scored more goals in the second period last night than the Panthers scored in 4 games. So there's that. Number two, the game is too late for me. Yet every time Calgary would score, they'd show the fans back home outside, and it's the freaking middle of the day. What kind of world?
yeah,
are
I
we
gotta,
living
I
in?
gotta give you a disclaimer on that. So I fell asleep.
Oh, okay.
I watched the highlights also, but yeah,
Okay.
it's wild. I mean, you got to remember,
Yeah,
Calgary is
a
all the way out
long
west,
way.
so they're at least 3 hours
Right.
behind us.
Yeah. Look, I lived in Alaska, so I get it. But the third thing, and this is almost all we. That goal was going in. The puck was going in. I mean, how do they rule that he was kicked? That it was kicked in? I don't know. All I know is the Tampa Bay Lightning got to be salivating at the thought of playing any of these teams, with the exception of maybe St. Louis. But
What was
go
my
ahead.
what was my prediction yesterday on the Calgary Edmonton game?
You said McDavid. Yeah,
Now his streak broke yesterday. Unfortunately, he didn't tie the record with Gretzky, which bummed me out.
right.
His multi-point game.
Multi-point, right.
Amazing that all the other goals that Edmonton scored, that he wasn't involved in any of them,
Right.
other
right.
than other than the winning goal that he scored.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
Draisaitl showed up. Zach Hyman. I mean, it was an exciting game. I mean, great, great for the fans as far as scoring goes.
Right, right,
But,
right. I mean, what was it? I think it was 6 goals scored in the second, because it was 2-0 Calgary. And then you get to the second period, and I'm watching the highlights. It was Calgary made it. No.
It was
Edmonton-
4-4. It was 4-4 when they went into overtime.
Right. Yeah. So whatever it was.
Whatever it was, 9 goals is a lot of goals.
A lot of goals.
Markstrom, who's been pretty, not going to say unstoppable, but he's been pretty good this year. He did not look good last night.
No, the overtime goal he just flat out missed. One of them he missed, and the rebound went in. He did not have a good game. But still, I'm curious. I don't know how many Calgary and Edmonton fans we're going to get, but I'm just curious for everybody, really. But I don't see how they call that goal back. I don't understand that. I mean, the puck, first of all, the puck is going in. If he never touches the puck, it's going in. So that's number one. Number two, he's like, his head is nowhere near his feet. He's flying, trying to brace himself because he's gonna hit the net. How in the world could they rule that he consciously kicked the puck? You look when his skate hit the puck, his eyes, he's
Listen, as far as the referees and the war room, and they're so inconsistent. They're so
Right.
all over the place.
right.
So nothing is predictable.
Right.
But who would think that Edmonton would be in the conference finals?
Yeah, no, everybody was thinking Calgary. A lot of people were thinking they were going to win the cup because they look so good. But you got to get, and it's funny because I'm getting ready to say you got to get good goaltending, but then it's not like Mike Smith was.
No, you got to get more. You got to get more scoring than the other team.
Yeah,
and that's one thing that Edmonton has, just like we did.
Well, look, it all depends on who you play, right? I mean, Edmonton and Calgary can play that style against each other, and whoever scores last is going to win for the most part. But right now, I can guarantee you the Lightning are looking at Edmonton going like, come on. We can do this again all day,
But again, there's one tangible, and that's Connor McDavid.
Yeah. Well, I want to see Connor McDavid versus.
He's probably the best
player.
He's the best player in the league. I mean,
yeah.
What he does
Yeah.
at supersonic speed is just incredible.
Right.
No, I love watching that kid play. And did you see his celly after he scored?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I know. And look, that ties
Barkov scores. holds his stick up.
Maybe
Maybe a little
he'll.
I mean,
shake
I
the
love a guy that scores the winner in overtime and just goes like, does a complete, and he does that almost in every goal. Ovechkin does the same thing.
Right.
He's excited about every goal he scores.
Right.
So,
and that goes back to yesterday, when with the or the day before yesterday with the McKinnon goal, and you see that, and you see what McDavid did last night, and what he's done in this series, and as Panther fans, you just kind of are watching that, going, yeah, I don't think we have those guys. I don't think we have at every position we have almost. Barkov is almost. Thibodeau is almost. Bobrovsky is almost. Ekblad is almost. It's like we have a collection of just not quite at that level guys. And I guess the theory being, if you put enough of those guys together as a team, they could win. And it happens. It happens, right? The Blues won. They don't have anybody at like McDavid level or Vasilevsky level. But so there was that game, and then obviously Carolina Rangers, big surprise. Carolina wins it at home. It's funny because the comments in the videos, when the Rangers win, I get a bunch of comments going, see, it proves the Rangers are better. And then when Carolina wins, I get, see, it proves the Canes are better. The game, it's going seven games. And then if New York can pull off a win, it's going
that's
seven
the
games.
thing. It means, somebody's got to win 2 in a row.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Means the Rangers got to, Carolina's undefeated at home.
Yeah. Well, but they also haven't won on the road.
Correct.
So something, right.
Correct. But if it goes 7 games, they got the 7th game. So
right.
Anyway, I predict the Ranger win at the Garden, setting up Game 7. But
right.
And they said it on the broadcast last night that Carolina is made for not a lot of goal production and really good at holding on to the lead.
Right.
And they are.
Yeah. No. And look, Brontes played well. I know they're saying Anderson's in practicing, is getting closer and everything. But I mean, he gave up the one, and then you had the one that got called back on the offsides, which
was offside.
It was offsides. I like I said, I like that rule when it works in our favor. But sometimes I wish, and I don't propose to have the answer here, but I wish there was somebody smarter than me that could figure out like a way to make that rule a little bit less intrusive on the game. Like last night, it wasn't as close, but sometimes when you're talking about like the freaking thumbnail, your pinky nail was offsides, and you're going back, 90 seconds and checking that and everything. It's cheap. To me, it's cheap, but
Look how long it took for that delayed game penalty the other
the one with the mesh.
So,
right.
Which I don't like that rule either, so but that's another story.
Right.
Vinny Trocheck.
Yeah, Trocheck. Yeah.
Great shorty.
Yeah.
Gotta give him some props.
Yeah, well, it was all the ex-Panthers because Trocheck scored and Vetrano got the penalty that ended up being right. So
right, I texted you right away. Typical Frankie V penalty. Right.
Yep.
Hooking, tripping.
I tried to tell the Ranger fans when he first got there, and he was taking off and he's scoring. I'm like, this is not when you want him to score, because he's going to score, and then he's going to go down, and on the way down, he's going to start taking stupid penalties. And I tried to tell him, look, the players are what they are, right? The guy is different. Yandel went wherever he was, that's the player he was. You know what I mean? And it's rare when like a guy like Sam Bennett changes teams and all of a sudden explodes. Most of the time, the guys are who they are. So, but yeah, Trocheck looking like George Lutz out there. I'm waiting to see if somebody's going to get that reference. So we'll just leave it. If anybody wants to know, Trocheck looks just like George Lutz out there on the ice. It's a beautiful thing. But so we got hockey again tonight. Now we got Colorado, St. Louis, and I said it to you yesterday, if go Blues, I want the Blues now. Because
Me too.
if Colorado blows this, nobody would be talking about the Panthers sweep all summer. It'd be the Avalanche's choke. So I'm a Blues fan all the way.
Listen, you got to remember the Blues won the cup a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So it's not like this, slouches. They're not like they're not like Montreal, who definitely did not deserve to be in the finals last year.
Yeah.
I don't know how they pulled that one off, but I mean, forget about it.
Right.
So obviously, I'm rooting for the Rangers. Love to see Rangers beat Tampa. Don't think that's happening, but I would like to see Edmonton in the finals.
Oh my gosh, that would be
I don't know. I just like because they've been in the toilet for all of Connor McDavid's years. They've really not done anything.
Right.
So it would be nice to see him get his shot.
Yeah. I agree. I don't think anybody's beating Tampa.
I mean, it's like our players. The windows are closing on Barkov and Huberdeau and Ekblad, It's like how many years has McDavid been in the league and Draisaitl?
Yeah. No, I know. And like with Barkov, I mean, it's like 9 years, but he's only 8 years, and he's only 26. So, I mean, and we talked about it. We looked at the Tampa play, and it's like Stamkos is 32, right? Those guys aren't young, and they've been winning for a while. So the window is there. Bobrovsky's 33. He's going to be.
Man, if you know what, I still, as much as I have like bias and favorites and stuff, that little thing in the back of my head says Tampa's the best team. They're going to three-peat.
Yeah, they're going to win. They're going
to three-peat because of Vasilevsky.
Right.
If Vasilevsky stays healthy, look out, rest of the league, because he's just starting to get in his groove.
Right.
The closer he gets to the cup,
right,
tougher he's going to be.
Yeah, and like I said, we screwed everybody with the sweep because they're just sitting home resting and healing, and meanwhile New York and Carolina out there killing each other, and the winner every night is the Lightning, unfortunately. So that's what it is. But so you feel back to Edmonton and in the game last night. Do we agree that puck was going in?
Look that way.
Right. Yeah. It's just tough because, that gives them the lead, and instead they end up in overtime and they lose. So, I mean, that was a series. Not that I don't think Calgary was coming back and winning that series anyway. But, when you get eliminated in part because of a call like that's a long off season. I mean, we have a long off season, but we don't really have a what if in one moment, but for Calgary, they've got that. Well, what if they get that? Not that they would have held the lead, but they can still say, what if they held the lead? But then again, hey, look, they had a 2-0 lead at home, and they blew the lead. Colorado had a 3-0 lead at home. They blew the lead. Washington had that 3-0 goal, and they blew the lead.
But that's one thing that I was going to bring up, the fact that they had a 2-0 lead in that game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Anyway,
but like we say, you got to get 4. You got to get 4 most nights. You got to get 4, and 2-0 in the playoffs. Even a 3-0 is not quite what it used to be now. As you've seen with the Panthers this year, but you could kind of see it where, once Edmonton scored to make it 2-1, you could kind of see the ice just tilted, and so now Calgary has to come back. They're kind of in the same boat as the Panthers, as a lot of people thought they were making it, to the finals, and they kind of have to sit back, and it's tough because Markstrom had been playing well, but I mean, like this last game just wasn't. It's tough. Like when we went to the offseason last year, when you're thinking, well, what if the goaltending would have been better, and it kind of takes the focus away from some of the other things that might have gone wrong. And like we, at the beginning of the season, we really felt like it would be all about Bob, and then Bob shows up in the playoffs and it wasn't anything about Bob at all, so it just goes to show you that every year, every game, every series is just like this entirely different animal, which makes it easy for us to be wrong sometimes. You know what I mean? Because you got to say what you think, and a lot of times it ends up not being exactly the way it was. So we got
again on the McDavid thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's fun to watch greatness.
Right. Yeah.
What's fun to watch, it's like every time that kid is on the ice, you just know something could happen.
Right.
Because he's so fast and
Right.
it's almost like the Matrix. You remember in the Matrix when Neo was dodging those bullets?
Yeah.
It's like he's going at super speed. Everybody's like 3 steps slower than him.
Right. Well, and it's like we didn't talk about it because we didn't review it, but the McKinnon goal. I mean, I could go to sleep watching that goal.
Yeah.
I mean, he takes the puck behind his own net, and you can see the moment where he already knows. He takes 2 strides and he's like, I'm taking this the entire way. I'm not looking to back pass. Because I made the joke, and I don't even think I'm wrong. Barkov would have tried to back pass before he entered the zone. He would have looked for a back pass or something like that. He just took that puck. And what I really watched the last few times as I watched it, I took my eyes off of him, and I'm watching the St. Louis defenders. And one guy looked like he was going to get ready to go off for a change. And then they kind of watched it like, wait a minute, where's he going? And everybody's like turning around trying to catch him. And he just made up his mind that I'm scoring on this play. And I forget the defenseman that he walked, but he just walked around somebody and on his backhand of all things. But he made that decision the second he got that puck on his stick. He's
great,
like, I'm going to do
right. Yeah. Great players just say, look, I'm taking it. I'm doing it myself.
I'm doing it myself.
I'm putting the team on my back, and I'm watch me.
Right. Well, and that's what happened.
Who do we have?
Well, I tweeted out. This is good. This is going to be funny. I don't know if you saw this or not, but this really sucks. But it's kind of true. Maybe you could make a case where Duclair would try this, but in reality, the only guy that we've had recently that would actually have the stones to start at one end of the rink and think that they were going to take it all the way was Mike Matheson.
Right. We talked about that yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, not saying he's that good, but he had the mentality of that he could do that. And the rest of the guys we have, I mean, how many times have we seen Barkov storm into the zone and Huberdeau, and they'll stop and look for somebody to pass the puck to? It's like, finish the play, dude, finish it. But that's a different video. That's a different subject. So, all right, we just wanted to make this short and sweet because it was just too good. It was just too good of a game last night not to touch on it. And as Stu and I watched the McKinnons and the McDavids make these plays, and then they have to stick it into us for Trocheck scoring 2 and all of that. It brings it all home to where you look at the Panthers and it's like, not yet. So, all right, guys, we appreciate our support. Make sure you hit the like button. Appreciate all the new subscribers. I'll be back tonight with Avalanche and Blues. One real quick thing for those of you who normally do this, once the Eastern Conference finals start, and the Western Conference too, I'll be back to doing the pregame live streams. So we'll have some fun there. So
cool.
Yep. Appreciate all support, and we will see you in the next one.